This is the Peter Greenwood Show, and if you are watching the video as opposed to listening to the audio, you are in for a treat because I have a gentleman to my left. Could you tell me your name and what you do, please?
Hello, I am Josh Glanc, and I'm a comedian at the Fringe. Bom, bom, bom.
You made it sound very ominous.
I thought this was a spooky podcast.
I mean, it can be.
Great. That's what I was told. I was explicitly told this is a spooky podcast and I have to be as spooky as possible. Is that information incorrect?
It's not technically correct.
Someone is getting fired.
It's okay. We can talk about murdering grannies.
Oh, okay. Well, I can talk about that topic for a long time, Peter.
I've got all day.
Well,
where do we begin?
The first granny I murdered was... Oh, no, I'm not meant to say that. The first granny that disappeared. It was Cheryl Winters. It was 1997, and she was nosy, Cheryl. She was nosy, and I don't like nosy people.
Ironically, through a lady called Winters, she disappeared in the summer, I hear.
That's right. The irony, the police were fixated on the irony. They should have been a little bit more fixated on finding the murderer.
Yeah, who is at large. We'll never know who that could be.
But, you know, they're obsessed with the seasons. How are you, Peter?
I am very well, thank you for asking.
Are you having a nice Fringe?
It's been busy, but a little bit upside down, but it's good so far.
Oh.
A little bit upside down.
What is upside down? What do you mean by upside down?
It means I haven't been sleeping.
You haven't been sleeping?
No, sleep is an enemy.
Have you been partying?
Oh, no, I can't even say I've done anything interesting. Like, I've just been not sleeping.
Have you been working?
Yeah, a lot of that. I'm trying to get things ready, but we're not here to discuss me, which as much as I like discussing me on the Peter Greenwood Show.
I believe I was explicitly told this is a podcast that is entirely about you. That's what I was explicitly told. I've made a mistake before. It wasn't spooky. It was entirely about you.
It is a lot of... Well, that's why my name is in the title, to make it harder to fire me. Turns out not impossible, just difficult.
Okay, good.
Let's talk about your show, though. It is called Family Man. Where did this show come from? What's its origin?
The show started its history probably at the Aberystwyth. I hope I'm saying that correctly for everyone in Wales. It started there when I did a work in progress of it, and it's kind of like a bit of a kind of fever dream, I guess. I suppose so. I guess there are a few elements to it. There's a lot of sound cues and music to my shows, and previously I've had someone operate those in the show. So when you have someone operating sounds in your show, usually the order is pretty fixed because they need to know I'm hitting this sound cue now and then I'm hitting this sound cue afterwards. And I wanted a bit more freedom, so I bought a piece of kit which is like a wireless MIDI controller, and it allows me to control the show whenever I want. So that was like a major element of devising the show, is that I want to be able to free to like do different bits, and if some interaction happens that leads me on a path of just wanting to go somewhere else, I've got the freedom to be able to do that. So I started experimenting with that, and then also thematically thinking about things like family and my career as a comedian, as a touring comedian, and that being at the expense of family, and kind of like, thinking about what's important. So those themes are floating around, but I wouldn't say they're explicit.
So when it came time to put the show together, how did you decide what to include from your life as a traveling comedian and your life as a family man, and what did you have to leave out?
I go by the principle, if it's funny, it's in. And if it's not, it's in the bin. And that does rhyme, and it took me a week to come up with that.
I am so glad you prepared for this. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So that's the principle, and it's the little song that I sing. Sometimes in a work in progress, I'll sing that song to the audience. And during work in progresses, that song takes up a good chunk of the work in progress. Because after every bit, you got to sing the song.
Do they ever sing it back?
Oh, yeah.
Is it call and response?
By by the third time you're singing it, they're singing it back. They know it. They know it off by heart. Man, it'd be really good if I remembered what I just said right now.
If it's
funny, can you hear that? Someone's making a coffee.
Someone is making a coffee, and it's not you, is it?
Can you hear that, people? Can we? It would be great if they could hear it, because that would be If they couldn't hear it, then would just be
We would just be two crazy people saying about coffee.
Exactly, it'd be unsatisfying for all those ACMR people listening.
That I don't know. I don't get ASMR.
It's ASMR.
It's not for me.
I'm not very good at acronyms. Is that what it's called?
You got me thinking. Whatever it is, it's fine. It'll be fine. I'm not scared.
Some people sometimes when people whisper, you get tingles. You ever get? Does that ever happen to you?
That's what I understand ASMR is,
Yes.
but I get the opposite. I get like reverse.
You get repulsed. You
tingles.
get upside
I'm like,
down.
do not do that. I do get very upside down. I hang from the ceiling. I go at people. It becomes a whole thing. It's a time.
Yeah, I'm not into it either. I'm listening. Call me old fashioned. I just listen to Peter's podcast.
Thank you. I always wanted to meet my listener.
Here I am. I'm so awkward.
I'd like to ask a little bit about your family. What do they think of being not exactly the topic of your show, but a big part of your show?
Well, they are. My family is pretty traditional in that all my siblings are like. I come from a very traditional Jewish family where you're kind of expected to get married and have kids, and it's a very important part of that. And I haven't really done that because I've sold my soul to the devil, being mother stage, and it's early. I just want to say, everyone, it's early. Peter said he's upside down. Someone gave me an edible last night, and I didn't want it. And man, I'm recovering this morning.
Would you like some coffee? There's a machine over there.
There is a machine over there. I like my coffee silent. So I was kind of like on track to lead a very traditional life in terms of having a family, and I haven't done that. So my family, are just constantly asking me when I'm going to settle down and have kids. That's what they're obsessed with, and I suppose that a little bit of that is what this show is about, but also not really. But it is, but not really.
I mean, it is, but it's also not. Like,
exactly.
Task failed successfully.
Exactly. That's exactly right, which is what our lives are about. Our lives are about filling ourselves with homes and family, but they're also not about that.
Yeah. So what is next for the show after the Fringe? Where are you taking it?
I'm going to burn it. I'm going to burn it to the ground.
What manner of receptacle are you burning it in? Just on the ground? Or are you getting a bin? Maybe a trash can?
I symbolically take the script and I put it in a little tub, and I set the tub on fire, and then I urinate on it.
See, I know you're a professional burner. I don't want to cast aspersions upon your burning techniques, but do be sure to stand downwind, because if you breathe in that noxious fumes from the tub burning, that I don't have to tell you that, so you'll be coughing for days.
No, you don't have to tell me, but it's always good to be reminded.
Yes.
Because, it's like being a performer. One of the number one rules is you go out there and have fun. That is the number one rule. Everyone says, yeah, you just go out and have fun. Really, that's what it comes down to. But sometimes we forget, and we're out there and we're not having fun, and we think, oops, forgot the number one rule. So it's good to be reminded.
I heard about fun once. I hope to have it someday.
No, you'll look once you get reorientated from upside down to straight up, you'll start having it. Let me tell you.
I'm trusting you. I wouldn't trust anyone else, but I'm trusting you.
You for a moment I thought you said I'm crusting you, and I thought this is where the podcast. Now we're in.
This is where we take a turn.
This is where it's getting interesting. The old crusting.
I must admit, I'm not sure what crusting is. Is that a term I need to know?
Look, you reminded me of the number one rule of burning shows, and I'm not going to tell you what crusting is. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You're going to have to find that out yourself.
Urban Dictionary.
Yes.
Where can people find out about you and about the show online?
They can't. They can never find out the truth about me.
Or if they do, there will be no comeback.
Exactly. You can search the internet, but nothing will come up because I've hidden everything. Every hit has been hidden, so you'll never find out who I am. If you go to Instagram at Josh Glance, you won't find anything. If you go to my website, joshglance.com, there'll be a blank page.
If they try to find Josh Glance, they'll find a photo of Josh Gad glancing at something.
Wow.
That's what I was trying to say. That would have been funny if I'd have gotten it on the first try.
No, it was good. It was good. I'm a Josh Gad fan.
He's having a moment, isn't he?
He's great.
Which is good for him.
He's fantastic. I love him. You hear that, Josh Gad? If you're out there, don't you take my webpage.
Yeah, I have no skin in this game, but please don't.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for your time. It was great to chat to you. Good luck with the show.
Thank you so much. Come along. It's at the Monkey Barrel during all of Edinburgh. And then after I burn it, I'm going to be touring it extensively. 3:20 p.m. at the Monkey Barrel.
Josh Glanc's Family Man is playing at Monkey Barrel 1 at Monkey Barrel Comedy from the 15th of August until the 25th of August at 3:20 in the afternoon. For tickets, go to edfringe.com. This episode was produced by @VCToriaA on Twitter. Go say hello to her. And it was hosted by me, Peter Greenwood. Until next time, bye every single body bye.